Welcome to Ebony with Leonidas. I am, as you can see, my name is Leonidas, and I'm currently playing on server 778. And my alliance is the Exquisite Battalion. This is the first video that I'm creating for my alliance in an attempt to help with queries and questions we get, or that most of us get in the alliance chat. Around game progression and how to essentially play the game. So yeah, one of the members, Dog Yep, I think he's over here somewhere. There we go. He requested some information to be made available on Prestige, how it works, and how to essentially go about utilizing Prestige efficiently. So let's have a look. What is Prestige? Essentially, this is a mechanism the game or Ebony has developed to place players in a specific ranking, which allows us to obtain certain benefits. And each ranking essentially provides us with better benefits the higher we rank. And each ranking you can find essentially by moving into your menu and then going into ranking, and then the second option, ranking, you click on that and you can see your server's ranking. Each player in the server has a specific rank. Now, as you can see, the highest rank is, or the highest category that you can get into is Regent, and there are only 3 slots. So what that means is that for the entire server, it doesn't matter how many players there are, the top 3 players with the highest prestige will rank in Regent. And then from position 4 to position 10, they will rank in Archduke. And this ranking goes down all the way down. For example, in Duke, I'm currently ranked number 30th, and it will be from position 11 all the way down to position 40. So, for example, the Earl ranking here, position 41, King 2, he has 1.76 million prestige. For him to rank in the Duke ranking, he needs to outperform Hassan Adam, who's in position 40, who has 1.786 prestige. And that's the only way he's ever going to get into the Duke ranking, unless there's a couple of guys that fall off due to inactivity. And it goes on like that. So we go down, we'll get Viscount, and that will be from position 91. And we go down to, I think it's 170, yes. And then Baden starts from 171. And it goes down to, I think that's, 270. So it's about 100 spots. And Knight as well. So Knight is the lowest ranking. So if you can, for example, if you're stuck in the Knight ranking, all you need to do is figure out how to obtain prestige to move up to the next ranking. And you'll see that each Sunday at the top of the screen, let's see if I can get a doodle out here. I think that's fine. Let's make the color blue. I think that looks blue to me. Over there. So that is a timer which counts down on a weekly basis. So currently there is 13 hours and 36 minutes left before the ranking resets. And what that means is that the game will calculate based on how much prestige you've obtained through the past week, and it will add it to your current score. Then if you outperform the person that's above you, your position will move up. Let's remove that. So now we know what happens, or how we essentially get ranked depending on the prestige that we have. So what does it mean when we have these prestige rankings? So for example, if you are right at the bottom in the Knight ranking, then there are these buffs that you get. So you've got a 5% buff on training speed and march speed, as well as healing speed. You gain an extra subordinate city slot, which means you can have an extra subordinate city linked to your main account or to your main keep. You've got an increase of 5,000 for your march size capacity, which means you can take more troops into battle. You can send more troops as reinforcements or send more troops to gather, for example. And then you've also got a 5% buff for trap building speeds. When you go to Baron, let's compare the two. So now there's a double in the percentage of training speed, trap building speed, and healing speed, as well as march speed. So it goes from 5% in Knight all the way to 10% in Baron. And then, of course, there are other buffs as well. So your subordinate city capacity goes up now by 2. So now you get more subordinate cities that you can hold. And then you get an extra little buff here or bonus in that you can gain an extra general. So I'm not sure if you are aware of this, but you can only have a limited amount of generals in the game. And you can increase that with prestige. You see with Viscount, all the buffs go up. And they just keep getting better and better all the way to Regent. So you can see there the percentages now are quite high. The subordinate cities I think get capped. So you can only have a total of 9 subordinate cities. I speak under correction there, but I'm pretty sure it's 9. Nonetheless, the percentages of everything else does increase. So you can see how having a higher rank in the game improves your ability to gain those buffs. So get prestige. And the game automatically takes me to my shrine, but I will do the manual approach. Let's go into my city. And there we go. So once I'm in my city, I can gain prestige very quickly if I enter my shrine. If I hit the offer option, then for a specific amount of gems, I can hit that offer button to gain more prestige. And in the little yellow text box here, let me just highlight that for you. Over here, this is some information that you can obtain depending on what level your shrine is at. So for example, my shrine is only, let's cancel this. My shrine is level 28. I should be upgrading this now pretty soon. So I can only obtain this green banner. So if you look at the banner system, you've got this green banner here. And then most players start off with a yellow banner. Okay, so if you've got the yellow banner, then your benefits that you get will be the prestige, right? Plus 240 XP plus 25,000 on top of that 240 XP. So the 25,000 and the 240 XP is your Monarch XP. The Monarch gains experience points if you offer. The 25,000 there is based on buffs. So you get certain buffs in the game. For example, if I'm in my talents, then if I have to use, for example, this talent, which is the first one that you can unlock, increases the Monarch XP and prestige from offering by. If you master it, that will be 20%. But I'm still doing my day-to-day play, so I'm not using that talent right now. So that will influence the XP that your Monarch gets from there, but also your prestige. All right. And then if you've got the green banner, which I currently have, then that experience points goes up slightly, and you get a little bit of buffs when you, for example, need to go into battle. So you can see, for example, King's Protection gives me a ranged troop attack plus 10%. But of course, we are focusing on prestige here, so that's the main thing. If you go, for example, to the next level, which is Shrine level 30, you just get extra buffs. So in conjunction with ranged troop attack, there is mounted troop defense. Okay. So offering is the most convenient way to obtain prestige as well as Monarch XP, but it's not the cheapest because it costs, it costs gems, and gems is not a easily or readily available resource for players that don't use or spend a lot of money on the game. Right? So let's say you offer your minimum. I generally advise players to offer between 5 and 7 5 and 7 offerings daily, because that is on average the amount of gems that you can get from events. So just hit the help button. If you are active in doing events, especially the easiest way, for example, is Monarch competition. If you just look at your event center, we're currently on KE. which can give you 2,304 gems if you meet all 3 targets. Okay, plus runestone chest as well. All right, so let's check what rallies are being run. Cerberus, I'm going to join. I've been using a lot of speed ups lately, so I need to enter those. Yeah, so that is essentially the function of the shrine in terms of prestige. We know how the prestige puts us in ranks, and we know exactly now what benefits we get from those ranks. Okay, so one thing that you could also look into is changing your culture. And this might not necessarily be a daily thing. As I said, one of the hardest things to come by for non-coiners or non-spenders is gems. And to change your culture will cost you 2,000 gems. If you want to gain more prestige, you'd select the Arabian culture. And then, of course, you have to change back to your normal culture that you'd like to make use of, which will cost you another 2,000 gems. So this is not something that you necessarily want to do each and every day. If, however, you feel that you are not progressing quickly enough, then there's one time per month, or I think it's 2 times per month, that I would advise you to do this. And that is during the King's Path event. I think it's one of the early days, day 1 or day 2 of that event. And it usually starts on the Monday or the Tuesday of the SVS week. All right, so generally keep an eye on that. Those are inside that event specifically. There's one of the tasks to complete is offering 200 times. And so during the course of the week, you can essentially gather these tributes. Tributes are very nice to have. You can just see it down there. All right. So I've got currently 50 collected, and I generally collect them passively by going to relics. You get them by smashing the slates in your relic chamber, or you can gain them in the black market. So yeah, I buy them up and I collect them specifically for that day. On the day, I will spend the 2,000 gems to change my culture, and then I will make sure that my talent is selected for offering, so I will switch it over, and then I will do one mass, essentially one big offering to gain the maximum benefit from that, because I'm not going to do this every day. When I do it, it's not a cheap process, so I want to obtain the maximal benefit that I can from that. So that's offering and how it can relate, or how you can improve your prestige through culture as well as your talents. Let me just enter this rally. All right, then lastly, we've got monsters. Okay, so let's have a look at monsters. I've got some reports that I've starred here, should be here somewhere. All right, so monsters is something that we all are able to take part in, monster killing, and to a certain extent that we all can ride on the coattails of big rally runners, right? So not everyone can kill a B12, for example, but you are still able to take part in that rally if you have someone else in the alliance that can. So monsters, essentially, I've divided into 3 categories. We've got our common monsters. So that's something like a hypocritical knight, a level 18, as we can see from the benefits or the battle rewards. We gain prestige at 27. All right. Then that is a level 18. Then let's move to a level 30. So some of us are able to also kill this. And the prestige that it gives is 45. Let's move on to the highest level. The highest common monster that you are able to kill is a level 40. So prestige will be 65. So that's 65 prestige for a common monster, being the cap. Then we've got event monsters. So if we look at something like a warlord, level 1, prestige will always be 50, right? It will not move beyond that. Even alliance points and alliance honor, they will always be 50 irrespective of the level. So this is a level 1. If you look at a level 2, we can see it's still remaining as 50. And we saw that the Scythian Knight, which was the level 40, is able to give us 65. So that already gives us more prestige. The reason for this is that event monsters provide us with other sources of reward, such as the monster chests. And these guys are filled with resources, right? We gain a ton of resources from them, and so try to always join rallies when these guys are being run. Try to join them with double drop generals. Alright, so you maximize the reward. So after event monsters, we come to the boss monsters. I have a few highlighted here for specific reasons. I think the Bayard Knights I highlighted, as well as the Cerberuses, they are all 50, just to show you that. Then moving to sort of bosses that we can either solo or generally get run a lot. So for example, I saw that Goblin now as well. So the Goblins, we get a lot of gold from them, and so the game decreases the amount of prestige that we get. So when the monster gives us other items that are highly valuable, generally prestige and alliance points decrease. So let's look at a Skeleton Dragon. Level 4, we can definitely all kill this. So we see the prestige is now 120, a massive difference between common, even, event monsters, right? So a level 4 skeleton gives us 120 XP, prestige, which we can obviously accumulate if we kill multiple of these guys. Oops. Let's go back. So that was a level 4 boss monster. Let's look at a level 7. So that has gone up now to 220, almost a double increase over there. And Yasha's again a very easy monster to kill. You do a good couple of them, then you essentially will be racking up your prestige. I think I should have a B10 here. There we go. The B10 is 350 prestige. B11 is 400 prestige. 350. Did I read that wrong? Griffin 350. Ifrit 350. Okay, so the prestige remains the same. It's the alliance points and honor that changes over there. That's interesting to note. Alright, and then the B12 gives us 400 prestige. So it looks like prestige between B10 and B11 is the same, and then only increases again with the B12. I probably... Do I have a... I think I do. Let me delete everything else. I'm pretty sure that I have a B13 here somewhere. But I have to get rid of all the old reports first. Actually, let's see. Unread, no, not unread. Read. Saved, yeah. So these are all things that I try to revisit sometimes, especially battle reports. I don't know why this is. Oh, this was probably in Battlefield. Kimchi. Okay, it doesn't look like... there we go. Fafnir is 450. Okay, so a 50 increase. But essentially you want to make it sustainable for yourself. And so you'd essentially want to stick to something that you can kill. Let's see, for example, I know the B9s. Let me go into my world map and just quickly look around. No Minotaurs. I thought I had a Minotaur report saved. Pretty sure I do. Nonetheless, the point is that you'd want to find a boss monster that you can kill comfortably with 0 wounded, and then stack them up. Kill as many as you can. Kill them, you know, you don't have to rally them all, because the alliance is always busy with bigger monsters that everyone is enjoying the prestige. But if you do have time, you can rally them if you need to, if you'd like to. If you feel that maybe there's other members that can't kill them that need help, then definitely do that. But once the alliance starts to grow and everyone can solo these guys, and there are other rallies being run, definitely solo a couple of them. You do need to also make sure that your monarch is gaining experience points so that you can develop your generals. I just wish I saw. Wait, but I killed the. Oh, but I deleted it. I just killed the B9 like an hour ago. Yeah, it will be gone now because I did not store that. Okay, nonetheless. So that's the way you go with prestige and how to obtain it efficiently if you're not coining. The fastest way, of course, is through the shrine, but that costs gems. And because of the cost involved, you'd want to optimize the time that you do decide to go full force on the prestige offering. So essentially, you'd want to do that in a specific time frame, which gives you the most rewards, and that being the King's Path event. Just keep an eye on the day which the event gives you the rewards for offering. I think it's about 200 times. But remember, offering can activate your king's the king's protection. So if you look at city buffs, king's protection, then because it's a true sort of PvP style related buff that you also obtain, rather do that during the King's Path event when you're going into battle. All right. So if you, as I said, it's generally during the SVS week. So do that offering either if you're going to take part in SVS, or if you're not going to take part in SVS, there's still the Guatemala and Constantinople battles. All right. So rather do it in those times then. And then if you're not going to take part in battles at all, just do it on the day of the King's Path event when offering is part of the requirements. And then, yes, that's it. That's how you get prestige. That's I've gone over the ranking systems and the benefits of it. I think the most important benefit is going to be the subordinate cities that you can have. So if you have more subordinate cities, then you get more materials because subordinate cities produce materials, and essentially the materials is needed for crafting and upgrading your gear. And so I think that's one of the most important things behind prestige, is having the ability to own more subordinate cities. As we know, subordinate cities also provide buffs. All right. Besides the fact that they produce materials depending on rarity, something like a courier that I'm currently doing is giving me an extra bonus from gathering. And I need the resources for building upgrades inside my city as well as troop training. And then I've put on an extra subordinate city just to boost that percentage a little bit. Something like an American subordinate city is giving me boosts or benefits for research speed. Research is something that I do 24/7. Russia is for defense, so more for sort of PvP style. And then lastly is Japan for troop attack, right? Again, also PvP style. So the more slots you have, the more subordinate cities you have, which means the more buffs you get. So for prestige, essentially that is in a nutshell the most important aspects of it, how to go about it, how to obtain it, and then how to utilize or make use of the buffs that you get. If there is or are any further questions from you guys, let me know. I do have a list of videos that I've got queued up for the Alliance, and that's all based on requests. So let me know in the comments, or you can send me a mail if you are not on my server. This again is who I am. It's my Monarch detail. I think if I go into detail here, you'll see my ID. There we go. That's my player ID. You are able to then go into friends, and I think there's a search option. There should be a, there we go. Enter, input a player name or ID to search. That should bring me up. And then if you are, of course, in my alliance, you should be able to send me a mail or whisper. All right. And that's that. Let me know. Hit the like button if you found this very helpful. And if you look forward to any future videos, there's a little subscribe button next to that. Cheers, guys. Ebony with Leonidas.